we wanted to take time to share these incredible women with our listeners. And I have Ruxandra Fediuc, our software architect. Thank you so much, Ruxandra, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning. I'm in Vancouver, so it's still pretty early for me, but I'm excited to be here and to talk to you about how we can celebrate women with the occasion of the International Women's Day.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm so excited for our conversation. So, for our listeners and stuff, would you mind introducing yourself to them?
For sure. So I'm Ruxandra. I'm a software architect at Hashtag Paid. As Gabriella kindly mentioned, I've joined the team close to 6 months ago, and prior to that, worked with a variety of other tech companies from Canada. I don't have the traditional, tech background, as some might think. I'm actually an ex-digital marketer turned software engineer and eventually software architect. So I'm just excited to chat a little bit about how I found getting into tech, and my opinions on why I think women are essential in leadership positions.
Yeah. And so for me and stuff, like I joined after you, but I found like in my even in my first 90 days, like the benefits and stuff of having women in leadership and stuff were obvious and evident. What are some of the benefits of having of women in leadership that you've seen?
Right. Oh, well, I could probably talk about this for quite a while, but to keep it, short and sweet, I think women provide a different set of skills, than men kind of bring to the table, and it's just complementary skills. They just bring different perspectives, which in the end, just helps drive more effective solutions for the business. It's kind of known, that women tend to be better communicators, and they have, higher emotional intelligence. And I think that overall, having, women on the team, and in particular on the leadership teams, helps create a more collaborative environment. And to also, I think one very important aspect is the fact that we are all building products and services for all the consumers out there, right? So it's not just, just men. We have a variety of consumers out there, and we need representation for these categories in our leadership layers as well, because, how can we best decide what's best for our consumers if we don't have a diverse understanding that represents all the categories out there? And last but not least, I mean, I just think it's very, very important for us to show the younger generations, the girls out there who are growing up, that women belong in all the places. They belong in the leadership positions as well. They belong in tech. They belong anywhere, so they can, whatever dreams they have, they can keep going and believe in the possibility that they deserve to be where they dream to get.
No, I totally agree and stuff. And I think there's so much power in being able to ideate and soundboard with other women in your environment. I would never say like I've regretted any of like my past like working experiences, but I think that like it's when I look back at the hardest ones were the ones where I was completely alone. I remember like starting off as like my first job when I was like 18 and stuff. It was like cleaning pools and stuff and maintaining like condos, like recreation centers and stuff. But I was mainly like on my own. And you're kind of like forced to kind of soundboard by yourself. And yes, it's my own perspective. Yes, it's like a female perspective and stuff. But like the power of being able to speak with other females and like validate and stuff like, yes, this is absolutely something we're experiencing. This is absolutely a concern. This is absolutely a possibility that we can like action on and stuff. It's so incredible when you're in a community of other women that I absolutely feel like is like baked into our practices like every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
If
love
if
that.
I can add one more thing, something that's been happening a lot lately, I sometimes help with our interviewing process, and I meet other women, or as I join networking events or tech events, a lot of women, that are stepping in tech, and they're in more junior intermediate positions, tell me, well, I don't think I've ever met a woman software architect. And as much as that feels good, it also makes me very sad, right? So again, going back to, we need more women in all of the positions out there, so that we show them that it is possible and it is something they can achieve as well.
No, I totally agree and stuff. Like that spotlight, it's important stuff to not only in stuff to like in recognition and stuff of like the accomplishments that you yourself have carved out like in this industry and stuff, but give others and stuff something to be able to spot and look forward to and inspire themselves and find their own roots there as well. So what advice would you give other women looking to start a career in tech development?
Right. So I'm gonna, as much as I'd like to not, come up with some cliches here, I feel I just have to say this one piece of advice that, is essential. Just be bold. Um,
Mhm.
it's very easy to get yourself discouraged, to feel that, oh, it's hard being in tech. There are lots of stories out there,
Mhm.
things on Twitter where, women are, discriminated against, and it's really hard to be a minority in this field. But truthfully, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be times when, you really might feel like you could use a friend, and, and you have to stand up for yourself. But at the same time, it's just so rewarding and such an amazing opportunity for us to bring to the table, again, a set of skills that I think in the end contributes to how effective the solutions that we all build together for companies, the software that we build, is in the end. It's just it's a challenge. So if someone really loves challenges, I think it's quite the field to get into. And to add to this, one more practical piece of advice is, if you have an opportunity to go out there and meet people and identify mentors, and to be more specific, sponsors, as early as you can in your career, in your path, that's going to be essential for you. And when I say, sponsors, it's kind of the mentor 2.0. It's not just the person who's
Mhm.
there to answer your questions and to help you when you're stuck. It's also the person who opens the doors for you, who finds the opportunities,
Yeah.
connects you to other people, helps you identify, your career opportunities. So it's a little bit more than mentorship, and it's definitely not easy to find them. It takes obviously a lot of resources to do it for someone, but there are some really amazing people out there who are willing to do this work, and sponsor, younger women, and not necessarily younger women who want to, get into tech.
No, and I love this idea of like this kind of mentor like 2.0, this type of like sponsor, because I think that we have a lot of us come with these preconceived notions, or like we're taught and stuff as like females coming into this, like what are the type of mentors and stuff, like how do you please them, like how do you kind of hype them up and stuff to build this kind of like relationship and respect and stuff. And I'm so grateful for I have a mentor and stuff who told me quite recently actually that he asked me and stuff like, okay, like what do you think a mentor is? And I was like, oh, somebody who like helps validate some of your concerns, who can show you like a path forward. I was saying all these things, and he kind of reminded me, he's like, number one, a mentor is helpful. They're not just nice. They're not just people and stuff to kind of hold your hand and stuff. They are helpful. They help you get to the next level. They help open those doors. They help support you and stuff when you're shaky. And I loved what you were saying about like being bold. Because I think like in the past, a lot of mentorship was talking about like being a guide when you're not quite sure footed and stuff, because we're all trying to kind of find our sea legs and something rocky and stuff, but we're not always told and stuff to come in with a perspective and a mindset of like sink your feet down in hard, be bold, take strides, and find other people who will walk this, like climb a mountain with you, not just tell you, hey, there's a path that
Like,
way.
and going back to how the relationship with a mentor should look like, obviously, I think the more grit you have, the more you know where you want to get,
Mhm.
even if it's you still benefit from the guidance from the mentor in terms of details. You have to have a clear idea of what you're trying to achieve, and you have to take that as you go and ask the mentor for help, because it's happened to me where people would reach out. It was like, oh, can you help me? I'm like, okay, with what?
Mhm.
Like if you want me to be good at helping you, you have to come to me with a more specific ask, or ask the right question, and I'll help you find the answer. But it cannot be vague, right? Just I
Right.
need help, help me out here. But yeah. hopefully that's again, it's just something that I think I was told at the time that I
Mhm.
considered stepping out and and kind of doing a career change and getting into tech. And again, I just had the luck to meet some fantastic people out there who supported me. So just passing on this advice as it made sense to me. It's verified. It
Mhm.
works.
Yeah. So when you're thinking of those younger ones, those curious and wandering stuff, even maybe like your younger Ruxandra, what is a piece of advice that you would impart on your younger self?
I would say, well, it's one piece of advice that, I I keep offering myself, even as I've matured in my career, just don't doubt yourself too much.
Mhm.
I know that, women tend to struggle a little bit more, with imposter syndrome. We always, doubt our worth and we doubt our skills, and we always kind of wonder if, if we got where we got by luck and we maybe don't deserve to be here. And it's hard. It's really kind of numbing you at times if you have to battle all these thoughts. So
Mhm.
as much as you can, if anyone young, can work on this, and try to really not doubt themselves. I think that's key. And also, it's very, very important that you surround yourself with people who believe in you and who support you in achieving your dreams. From your significant others to obviously sometimes family, you cannot necessarily pick them, but I think it's not selfish to say that if you don't feel supported by someone, you know,
Mhm.
avoid going having those interactions with them if they really put you down, and and focus on working with the people who who can really support you on your path forward.